He spent 3 years studying every street in London.
I got a letter from TfL basically saying like, we might remove your license as a cab driver. I'm like,
And then he built one of the most unexpected YouTube channels in the UK.
if you take a brand deal, like you're an evil person or whatever.
Nothing about this journey has gone to plan.
Anyway, sometimes I'd probably be better off just working the cab. If Uber went away tomorrow, us black cab drivers would not be able to survive the demand.
This is the most honest conversation I've had on this podcast. Would you describe yourself as an entertainment YouTuber?
Yeah, I think annoyingly, I say annoyingly, but I kind of, that's the bracket I then fit within.
Yeah.
Because usually, obviously, everything on YouTube it's generally education bucket or entertainment.
That's why people click on YouTube, right?
And I think my channel doesn't have a pain point. If your channel has a pain point, i.e. someone's got to go on YouTube and find out an answer to something, they watch your video because they need to know, or they wake up with oh crap, I need to get in shape, I need to do this thing. You then fit into an education bucket.
Okay.
Whereas if it's anything else, like my viewers don't have a pain point. They watch me for me, which seems weird.
Yeah, that's not weird. You're
No,
great.
yeah, but like, I don't really see myself as an entertainer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I fall into that quote entertainment bucket, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and is that where you wanted to end up when you first started?
No, definitely not. Like I didn't even realize, there's kind of two paths there, education versus entertainment. And it's a little bit frustrating because when you go to a lot of these like things like Vid Summit and all these kind of seminars and that, I swear like 80% of like the sort of little breakout rooms and seminars are about education creators and then having a product and having a spin-off and like you have a course and stuff. You're like, yeah, but there's no pain point in my audience. So like I'm having to I sometimes like going to those rooms to understand what everyone else is doing in the creator landscape. But a lot of it I'm just like, oh, right, I can't really take too much from this because this isn't the pain point of my audience. I need to really focus on the entertainment side of things. But reassuringly, on the other side of things, you got to think some of the biggest YouTubers on the planet that everyone knows are, of course, entertainment creators.
Yeah, of course.
So,
Yeah, especially like in the UK, I would say the biggest are entertainment creators, right?
Yeah, the ones who put in the big numbers.
Do you think that it's harder to grow an entertainment channel than it is an education channel? Like genuinely, because people aren't there. They have to, I guess, maybe develop to learn to love your personality, and maybe that takes a bit longer than.
I think so, like, because I was quite lucky that my inroad was, of course, taxis. So that's kind of my like hyper focus, like obsession. And I guess when I think of some of the other entertainment channels, yeah, you have to build up that trust and credibility of what you are, what you do. If you look at, say, like Nico or Max Fosh or whatever, like you can do those things once, but the reason why people keep coming back is because you've got a whole back catalogue of getting yourself into sticky situations that you then get out of like again and again and again. So it kind of is a bit of a compounding, I guess, spiral that you have to put more and more out to show that credibility and trust.
Sure.
And I'm kind of lucky, I guess I kind of was able to, I guess, hack it to a degree because I've already, it hopefully comes across in sort of one of the first few videos that that's what I do and who I am, related to taxis and London. So.
Sure. But would you say you started off as an education YouTuber before you moved to entertainment? Because some of your first videos were teaching people how to like pass the knowledge and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's transitioned over time, right?
That's how I got into it because I would watch stuff on YouTube like that. And I love the London taxi trade, what it takes to become a taxi driver. It took me 3 years and the sort of freedom that this job has offered. So when I first got out, I wanted to kind of share my experience a bit, kind of almost like I couldn't document it because I'd already done it. So I was kind of just like, right, this is what you would do if you want to get into it. Put a few of those videos out. This is probably about 2018 or something, and then didn't really do much with it.
Right, so you've been doing it for like 8 years now, nearly.
I wasn't really into YouTube, I'd say at the time. I was I was watching YouTube, didn't really know anything about being a creator or making money from it. It was just like, cool, I like making videos. Let's put a video together and chuck it up. And I made some real basic stuff. Then when I was a pandemic creator, because when that came around, then I guess it kind of had a bit more of a spin of entertainment because I was just answering like common questions about the cab in the back of the cab. I had this kind of identity crisis of like, my work was taken away from me. Like I couldn't really drive a taxi in the same way that I did.
Really? Wow.
So I sat in the back of the cab and just answered common questions. And then it kind of grew from there. You get a comment and someone says, oh, have you thought about doing this? Have you thought about doing this? And then you think, oh, cool. And then it's the old Mr. Beast thing of kind of iterating on every single video, just changing one thing each time.
And those video ideas, did they come from your comment section then, or?
Yeah, a lot of them in the comment section. Sometimes it was like, oh, right, if I was a production company, if I was like a TV company, like what would I do different? Like how would I really showcase it? I kind of realized as well that there's only so much you can sort of tell someone about what you do. And the best thing is to kind of demonstrate what you do. And then so I wanted to do more of things like that, basically. Yeah.
Nice. I guess like this is the thing with a YouTube journey. I mean, when people start a YouTube channel, is they always think that you've got to have it right like first time and like the direction you want to go, right? I mean, but you're evidence that like you just have to keep evolving, and things will get thrown at you, like the pandemic, or maybe you've exhausted content, and it's like, what do I create nowadays? And you have to evolve, like,
and the things you think might land won't land.
Really?
And vice versa, like the whole format of me doing my shift going around driving, I find it's quite somewhat repetitive. Because there's a lot of jobs I do the same, driving from Selfridges down to Harrods.
Of course.
All that kind
of
back. The amount of times I've driven, the amount of time I've drawn that on a map, and I think, well, every time I draw it, I think, I've drawn this so many times. Why don't I just have a stock footage of this?
You could sell that stock footage, I think.
I guess so. But I wouldn't have then got that insight until you then put it up. If you're starting a YouTube channel and you think, oh, no one's gonna watch this, well, you got to put it up and see. One of my best performing videos was one where I sort of filmed it, and it was just kind of a bit of a listicle video, had a little bit of a narrative running through it.
Which one is this?
This is like, it's nearly on 1 million views now. I just trickled up over time, but it's the honest truth of owning a black cab or something.
Okay, yeah.
The thumbnail is terrible. It's just a screen grab from the video. It's the title was pretty well optimized, I guess, but it was just like, the realities of owning a black cab, basically. Right, and I remember I got it back from the editor. I watched it through, and I was like, God, are people going to think I'm some sort of a fraud, like, for this video? Like, have I just gone out and cheat? Because I went out with the DJI Pocket. Just, okay, I'm going to put it there. Like, I scripted it and everything. But I was like, I'm going to put it there. I need another shot. Right, I'm going to put it there. Right, this one handheld. Right, I'm going to walk down the street with this one. But the editor just made an amazing piece of work with it. Right. Put it out, and it's just even now it's still like, really? I'm putting content out now and it's still kind of trickling up in views. It's just one of those kind of outliers on my channel. Wow. And I'm like, right, how do I do more of that? Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, when you find that one piece of content, you immediately think like, oh, let's double down on it. Let's create stuff like that all the time. But then you can double down on it, and then it still might not.
Or like, I think with that one, there's only so much I can't really make sort of any follow-ups to it because there's a lot jammed into that video.
Okay, right. Okay.
So I'm still kind of getting my head around different ideas I can spin and take out of that. But it just shows you that you could have a well-intentioned plan, but you can't with YouTube, especially if you're getting started.
Really?
Just throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. It's easier when you start out because you haven't got an audience or a following who's then going to call you out. Like you literally can say anything you like because no one's watching anyway.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like. And now if I feel more creatively stuck because I'm like, oh, well, I've got to please the existing audience, but do I stick something out new? I want to push it creatively.
Returning viewers versus new viewers.
Yeah. And you get stuck in that kind of spiral and you think, oh, like, what do I do here?
Do you pay much attention then to the analytics of your channel, or are you sort of like, do you know what, I'm just going to create content that I want to create?
Yeah, I think fundamentally it always comes back to creating good content.
Right, okay.
So sometimes look at the analytics and that, but you only do it when it suits you. Like if you want to G yourself up or whatever, or if you want to feel bad because it's a 10 out of 10 and you're like, oh man, like
you're like, oh, this video is good, I'll look at the analytics, look at the revenue, look at the CPMs, oh great, I'm doing well.
That's it. And you don't really glean like any good information from it. Sometimes, I've done a few deep dives in where you can go into the advanced tab and
see more. Yeah.
Because it's like anything in life, you learn really from the stuff from all your weaknesses, basically, stuff you don't want to look at. So but then I take it with a pinch of salt because you can have outlier videos. There's much more. If you looked at all the things you could focus on YouTube, analytics is obviously like a pass metric. You've really got to just quickly look at it and then move on to the next one. Okay. I like to think of it like being a pyrotechnic.
Really?
So like a fireworks display, like person setting off fireworks, just goes out, puts a banger up, and then they're getting the next firework ready.
Okay.
If I sit there and look at that firework, oh crap, I've got to get the next one. Where's the next
the audience are bored already.
The audience are bored,
got to get the next one. So it's just this constant like posting, evolving, getting 1% better every time, taking some learnings from it, but not getting like too in the weeds because, I think like YouTube is creative and it is data driven as well, but you've got to get that balance right, I think. And not go like super analytical because then you just don't create a creative video.
And you're not listening to your audience. Like it's, I started doing, faster cuts and edits. And then I started doing like Mr. Beast style thumbnails because that's like all the rage, or that's what every thumbnail designer loves to make. And those ones time and time again, I'll do an A/B test on hyper edit thumbnail versus what I call organic, where I just pull a screenshot from the video. Screenshots do better for me.
Really?
Because I think for my kind of content, it's more about the connection I have with the audience, that I'm a real kind of person. And the second I do a hyper edited thumbnail, I'm then removing the fact that it's about, a normal everyday kind of cab driver.
Okay. And it doesn't link to your content, I guess, does it? It's like,
no,
if you're an authentic thumbnail, and your content is like so genuine and so authentic and so raw, and just, like there could be like 40 minutes of you just talking and sitting in a cab, and it's like very like personal. If you have that, like that crazy thumbnail with like, I don't know, it's just not going to match up to the content.
No, exactly. And everyone gets all hung up on, having these crazy thumbnails. Same with the editing and that. Like one experiment I gleaned recently was that I did a style when I shoot my shift videos, I kind of have a voiceover, a narrative that runs through it. I sit at home, I talk about how I drove, etc. And I got bored one day and I put on, I made this character called Map Tom.
Map Tom.
And basically, he was like a commentator, announcer, like a bidding man at like an auction.
Okay, was this in one of your videos?
Yeah. So rather than sort of like just like, oh, turn left here and forward here, it was like, and I turn left on the park lane and around park lane, and you got to avoid the traffic.
Are you saying Map Tom? Is what you're saying? Oh, I get it. Right?
Map
I was
Tom,
like, what?
it was this kind of character I created because I was filming it, and I was like, right, this might spice it up a bit. I thought, because I think, again, coming back to the idea of like retention and stuff like that, I was like, well, okay, well, I'm going to keep for maximum retention. I'm going to keep the cuts shorter. I'm going to have this guy who's really fast and energetic. It's another character, so maybe that will be another narrative arc going on there. And of all the people that commented, about 80% of people said, who the is this Map Tom guy? Get rid of him. I literally, there were a pair of glasses. I don't know if you know a Vid Summit, but Opus Clip were handing out these little glasses. Those orange glasses. I put those things on. It was those glasses. And
I love it when you try something on YouTube and you think it's going to be like the best idea ever. It's like, oh God, this is like genius. No one's ever done this before. And then just audience is just so real on comment section. They're like, fuck off, just get this guy gone and let's just see the original stuff.
Literally. And you got to listen to your audience a bit. If there's one or two comments saying, oh mate, the audio was a bit off, you're like, okay, you can sort of ignore those, because there might be someone who's sat at home with like a full hi-fi setup or something. But if it's like a lot of people in the comments saying it, you're like, cool, must address that. So I just went straight on the community tab, smashed up the glasses and just went, he's gone.
Map Tom has disappeared.
He's dead. He's gone.
And he's gone. And this is the thing, like you only learn all these little things from like the consistency and posting and just keep on going with it. And that's the thing. And there is so many like strategists and advisors out there, but no one knows your channel and your audience better than you do, because you're on it every day, you're posting every day, you know all these little nuances and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think then, like taking that information then, like how much do you think you should listen to like strategists and advisors who...
I think you still should, because you can't see your own blind spots. It's no different than in your own personal life. Like if you've got a certain habit or a thing that keeps coming up, to you it might just be a little thing. But when it comes, to a strategist or a friend who sees it from the outside, they look at your life and go, hold on a minute, you've done that a bit too many times. Don't you think you should probably stop this now?
Okay.
And I find myself, like, if I go out and make a video, like, there's often a lot of times there's the videos I want to make, there's videos that the audience want to make, and you don't want to succumb to audience capture, obviously, but you've got to find the happy balance of, like, stuff I want to make and stuff the audience actually wants to watch.
Interesting.
Because there's lots of topics I can make about the taxi trade and stuff, but it probably won't land. And you can tease it in some ways, but the cool thing with a strategist would be able to say, well, look, have you thought about this? Have you looked at this?
Okay, so no different. Putting a mirror in front of your face.
Yeah, like, you'd have like a personal trainer who then say, well, yeah, that's quite effective what you're doing there, but have you thought about maybe trying this as well?
Yeah.
And then it's not as like prescriptive as like, do this. It's just more like, cool, small little tweak here and we can have a little...
Has there ever been a point in your channel journey when you've like leaned too much into like what the audience want, or leaned too much into what you've want, and then it's like potentially just like throwing it back in your face?
Nothing's kind of blown up, I guess, in terms of like I've leaned in too much to what the audience wants and stuff. One of the more popular videos is the shift videos where I'm driving around showing people what London is. But it's taken me a very long time to realize why people actually enjoy them.
Why is that then?
Well, I always thought it was about, the raw knowledge, and that's why I like that idea of Map Tom. Because it's like, here you go, you want more raw knowledge? He's going to throw it at you. And what I then gleaned from that was that No, people are actually watching it to kind of actually unwind and relax.
Yeah.
And that map, Tom, was like shouting basically at them
Okay.
in their face.
Yeah.
So now I've leaned in the other way.
Yeah.
So I've thrown the pendulum the other way and go, right, I'm going to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Really focus on the voice. And literally playing with all the EQs.
Slow Tom.
Yeah, literally snow late night radio. Because a lot of people say, yeah, I watch it. I find it oddly relaxing and stuff. I'm like, right, cool. Let's lean into that then. Yeah.
Well, I can vouch for that because I also watch your content to decompress and have been for the last 2 years, and I use it to switch off and, you know, just at night, just in bed, just chilling. It's just like, it's a very good way to just unwind the day. I guess it's like smoking a joint, I guess.
Right, okay.
But I don't smoke weed.
Right, yeah.
But when I was like 18 or whatever, like, it's just chill. It's just nice. It's just like very relaxing. And
that's what
like
we said at the top of the show, like it's that kind of knowing where you fit into that person's life to know how you then make your content decisions. And oddly enough, that's the sort of thing you sometimes can't get from the comments field. You
can't
might
get
get
from analytics either.
No, you might get people who say like, "Oh, okay, I find this relaxing," or whatever. It might be the odd comment, but mainly what you've just said there is when I meet people in face, like I think they've not really thought about it either. They go, "Hey, Tom, like I really like the content," and I'm like, "Oh, what do you like about it?" And they go, "Well," and they have to really think about it. And go, "Well, actually, it's because you help me relax at night, or I watch it there."
Yeah.
And you won't ever get that from the comments field. Really, it's when you've kind of hard push someone for the answer.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? I think it's like most content on YouTube is like trying to get you to like keep your eyes on and like trying to like get you there and just keep you there and keep you like trying to like keep your brain stimulated. And sometimes like when you want to chill, you don't want that type of content.
No.
You know, you look at like obviously the best creators in the world, like the KSIs and the Beta Squads and Sidemen and whatever. Their content's great, but like you're glued and you're like really like they're really like trying to engage your brain every 5 seconds and all these different like video tricks. With your content, it's not like it doesn't feel like it's doing that to me, which is nice because it means that I can just be like, oh, I can relax. I've not got content. It's not like scrolling through a TikTok feed, you know? Which is nice.
Well, I'm going to miss something that's naturally quite important to the plot. You kind of, you can go along at like, I guess it's like the shipping forecast, but like for the 20, I don't even know the shipping forecast, maybe too young an audience, but they used to do it on the radio and it was some like boring thing that no one understood, but it was oddly relaxing. Yeah, and there is definitely a rise of sort of a lot of creators that do that, where it's just very raw, unedited. But I think the common thread and what I sort of extracted from some of these creators that are doing really well at the moment that don't have this harsh editing is that they're kind of guiding you into their world.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, or what I've realised why people watch it is because it's like a safe pair of hands. Because like, you know, London. Yeah. Many of the people like who I interface with go, yeah, I know London or whatever. But it's just something reassuring about seeing that delivered to you from like someone who knows it quite well, in the same way that you could go to work with a plumber or an electrician and you feel safe because they know what they're doing. Yeah.
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. And the thing is, you'd never learn all this, like I said before, you'd never learn all this at the start. When you started your channel, you didn't think it'd end up in this way.
No way. So whatever, if anyone wants to pick up and start, you got to just start and then just evolve.
How much are you optimizing your titles when it comes to your videos?
I was quite a bit, and to be fair, I think the title is some ways more, at least for me anyway, more important than the thumbnail.
Interesting.
For the reasons I pointed out earlier, that my thumbnails, the hyper edited stuff doesn't really go for me. It is more the organic stuff. So then the title has to really sit with whatever's happening in that thumbnail. Okay. So I think that's why that video I said about, you know, the realities of owning a black cab did really well, because it's just me sat in a cab, kind of just like miffed face of like, You kind of have to look at it. It's like, is he having a good time with this black cab, or is he not having a good time? You know,
hating life.
So there's that natural like curiosity gap there.
Yeah.
And you can do, so long as, and it just depends on the overall aim of your channel, really.
But okay.
If you're an education creator, it might be different. If you're like a hyper entertainment creator, that might be different. It might need to really sell what happens in the video. But for me, there's not really like a real pivotal narrative. Like I went to work and did this. Sometimes there is, but sometimes it can be a bit more like, you know, teasy, I guess. Like less.
I bet you love it when something goes wrong on a shift.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like juicy content. Yes, we got
wheel
it.
trim got stolen. Yes. My window got smashed. Yes. Like,
yeah, perfect. Yeah, drunk guy. Yes, perfect.
Literally.
You get all of that in London though, don't you, really? You have to go out for half an hour.
Less drunks now, yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions around entertainment, specifically on YouTube. And I think the biggest one is like how much effort actually goes into making an entertainment video.
Right, yeah.
Like it's not like a small fee. I mean, just going like into your shift videos and you drawing from one point of the map to the other, like that seems like a lot of effort. For 3 seconds or whatever.
Yeah. So the only reason I draw on the map was because I couldn't animate. I'm very crap at animating and stuff like that. I was like, I don't want to pay an animator. So the easiest way was just to draw on the map. Like,
yeah.
It is problematic because I can't really have anyone edit those videos because I'm in the studio talking about a specific place in London.
Yeah.
The dash camera footage is of that specific place and the map is of that specific place.
Okay.
So the only people who could really edit it is someone who knows London really well or a cab driver. Because if you're looking at like grainy dash camera footage at night from a random street in like Soho.
Yeah.
No one's gonna know that, right?
So true. So if you're a cab driver and you're an editor, contact Tom.
My old editor, like he was amazing for it though. Like
Really?
he didn't do the shift videos, but I was like, how the hell do you know where I was? Like he was just he did it amazingly well. But
is it a lot of effort then making like an entire video?
Yeah, like I think it is on top of doing all the other sort of YouTube channel stuff. I think if I was solely just an editor, like editors would probably look at me and be like, well, what, 16 to 20 hours or whatever to edit that video. Well, that's nothing. Like, you know, some edits do take that long.
Sure.
But yeah, on top of me trying to run the channel, and then after you've edited it, you got to upload it, and then you got to do the thumbnail, then you got to do the title, then you got to optimize it, then you got to align with the brand, and then you got to put the sponsorship link in there, and then the sponsorship link doesn't work, and you got to speak to the brand again, and then all that stuff, and they go, we didn't like the way you said if, and you're like, right.
Can you go back out, please? And just say that again, please.
Yeah. Right. Can I do it as a voiceover? No. We really like the way you look down the camera lens as you said it. Oh man.
Got to go back to Harrods, back to Selfridges, back to Harrods, film the link. Yeah, and then there's the shorts, and there's the community tab, then there's replying to comments. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, it is a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and also you're a full-time taxi driver too.
Yeah, well, I'm probably like part-time YouTuber, part-time taxi driver now.
How the fuck do you do it all?
Yeah, so not very well. Not very well.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, so I do about 3-4 days a week in the cab, and then all the other days related to YouTube, and then most mornings as well, like related to YouTube. So I kind of wake up around about 9. I'll do YouTube related stuff till about I don't know, like 1 o'clock or something, and then I go to work in the taxi if it's a day where I'm going out taxi. Taxi I do from like 2 till 11 at night, so midnight.
Okay.
And then on the kind of I call them off days, but they're not off days. It's just a day where I don't go out in the taxi.
Right. Okay.
I would still work like 9 to 5 on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So it is about like 6 days a week, I'd say. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and also you got to have like a personal life in all of this as well.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, you got to have an actual life and, you know, keep fit and like eat food, like.
Yeah, and everyone's saying, that's the key to productivity. You're like, oh well, God, I got to do this to be productive, you know.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got wife food then, I guess.
Yeah, man. Well, mate. Well, to be fair, the channel wouldn't be about them.
With the sponsors,
100%. Both. Obviously, just from a sponsorship sort of perspective, but also just how it sort of fits in my life out in the cab and stuff.
Really,
I just couldn't do it. Really, I mean, even my very first, I had a bit of an issue in 2021 where I had to put a lot of videos because when I first started out, I was just strapping like GoPros to my cab and stuff.
Right. Okay.
And I got a letter from TfL basically saying like, we might remove your license as a cab driver. And I'm like,
what, because you're putting GoPros on your cab?
Yeah, I don't think they've got a social media policy,
right.
But effectively, if you're doing kind of any filming whilst you've got a passenger in the back, it's a big no-no.
Really?
So I would love to be able to do cinematic stuff of like my face, you know, maybe passenger in the back and stuff like that. Obviously, it's massive GDPR headache, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So the only thing, that's the reason why my videos are the way they are, where I have a dash camera and I talk about it after the fact.
Okay.
Because whilst you've got a passenger on, you can't do those kind of things.
Wow. Okay.
But YFood were quite supported because I had like, you know, brand sponsorships in a few of the videos that went up. I got this letter from TfL and I'm like, well, I've got to pull the videos. So I had to pull the videos. There's all brand sponsorship on it, but they were like more than accommodating for it.
Really? You didn't have to pay the money back then?
No, we came to an agreement, but like
that's good.
Yeah. And then just ever since then, you know, I think just working with the brand directly.
Yeah.
And you know, they just give me creative, you know, freedom on it.
Nice.
They're not like we want to say you to say it this way or that way. That's other brands we've worked with.
Yeah.
Not them.
You can see that in YFood's sponsorships across like other channels as well, though. You can see that they're like, they let like creators just be free and like do their own thing. I mean, and and every single time I see them sponsor a video, because a lot of the time they don't come across like sponsors in a lot of videos because they're so integral to like the YouTube world now, I think, that brand. Yeah, you can see that they're not like dead pushy, and they won't get you to change the word if, you know.
It's amazing to see them go from strength to strength. You know, when they started out, they were just like a small, I remember seeing them in the German brand, seeing them in Munich airport and stuff. And then like when they first had like a deal with WH Smith, he was like, wow, they're in like UK now. And then it's like Holland and Barrett, Tesco's. Now you see them everywhere.
Literally every single supermarket.
And I think that's a real testament to, I would like to think, I mean, obviously they've probably got good people that get in the brands and put them in the supermarkets and stuff like that. But obviously YouTube and, you know, the creator space has obviously helped elevate that massively, I'd like to think.
Absolutely. How integral then is having a brand sponsorship on your channel? And like, how did that journey start from you, for you, in terms of like so many people out there watching this now, but will be growing a YouTube channel or wanting to grow a YouTube channel, and you know they want to get their first like brand sponsorship. Like, how does that come around?
Well, it is integral because for the reasons outlined. You know, I think I sometimes look at some entertainment creators and you know some of the big dogs in the UK doing. I think, buddy, how the hell you don't have the like, just to side step here a little bit, like education creators, it's almost natural if you solve a pain point for someone that you're allowed to go out and make a course. Okay. Right? And people go, oh, cool, thank you so much. Like, this course saved my life. It taught me how to unblock my sink or whatever.
or sell Forex or something like that.
But yeah, exactly. But if you're an entertainment creator, it's like, especially in the UK, it's like, oh, if you take a brand deal, like you're an evil person or whatever.
Really? What is that?
I don't know. I think there's this kind of, I remember when I first got monetized, right? I got to 1,000 subscribers and I can't remember if I put something out of being monetized or if someone just put 2 and 2 together that you got 1,000 subscribers being monetized. And it was like a comment like, oh, I used to love you when you did it like for the love of being a taxi driver. Now you're a creator and you're earning money from this. And you're like, yeah, but like, I've got to go out and like film the content. I know it links to my work, so that is kind of a cool hack. But then I've still got to go at home. I've still got to ingest it. I've still got to have the cameras. I've still got to have the editing software. I've still got to spend about 16 to 18 hours editing the thing, doing all the other stuff related to it. And you're like, yeah, come on. So that was the sort of slight segue there. But in terms of getting the brand sponsorship and stuff, you'll get loads of, as you sort of grow, you'll get more and more emails come into your inbox and say like, you know, do you want to represent this? And I've had so much stuff. And I think that's the other thing as well. You'll maybe take a brand on or a particular product or partnership. And some people, you know, oh, why have you partnered with this brand? It's like, well, I've done like quite a rigorous values judgment based upon, does it align with me? Does it align with my audience? The amount of stuff I've said no to,
really,
you know, we was talking about, you know, alcohol before we started this podcast. I did 2.5 years no drinking. I've had alcohol brands reach out to me and say, hey, would you want to do it? No, I don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
I do now, and I'm still kind of going back and forth if I still want to. But they were like, oh, we've got non-alcoholic options. I'm like, yeah, but I don't really drink those, so I'm not going to push something I don't.
And your audience will know as well. That's the thing. Like, you would have forgot about you saying this maybe in a video like 6 months ago about you not drinking alcohol. Then you suddenly sponsor, like, showing an alcohol brand, and someone will remember that. Yeah. You might not, but someone will.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and that's something I didn't put, because you eke out in so many different ways. Whether you just say something off the cuff that someone latches onto, or just how you go about your day or whatever. So. Yeah, everyone I've partnered with has been that. You know, Wifey was great because it was them directly. It actually came about as well. Like my friends and I were doing I do like a niche form of bike riding, and we got they also sponsored that channel as well. So it went really well that, you know, we'd go out riding and then we'd have this drink that we could then drink rather than having to go and find food out and about. Yeah. It still is the bane of my life now when I'm like on the way here I want to get coffee and I'm like, got to park. Like, where do I park? That's going to take time, and you know,
yeah. It makes a lot of sense. So like, I don't think people sort of realize this. Like, you have education channels, and probably their biggest revenue stream is like a business off the back of it potentially, like courses or books or guides or whatever it particularly is. There's a clear like a funnel, I guess. They're like the top of the funnel, and they're pushing down into, you know, email marketing, and then into whatever they're selling off the back of it. It's clear that they've got a purpose or like some sort of end goal. And they're not really making money from CPMs because I mean, who is making loads of money from CPMs nowadays? But with entertainment, like you said, there's not that funnel really, is there? So it is like sponsorships, which potentially is like your biggest source of income.
Yeah, and again, people can't see it. Like they just think like, oh, he's making loads of money off stuff. I had a cab driver. I was doing a partnership with Sage with the whole making tax digital. So if you're a sole trader, you earn over £50,000. It's mandatory that you have to do quarterly accounting like records. You have to keep records of what you turn over and stuff. And then like I had this cab driver saying, oh, he's clearly getting a bung from this. And I'm like, yes, just like I'm promoting and advertising a product, and I just think that it's such a weird thing that in the entertainment world you're not like allowed to do that, or like it's seen as like a no. And I think it's kind of where at least YouTube is kind of hopefully harmonizing like this kind of approach that the US economy and creator economy has, where it's like, yeah, cool, advertisements, that's normal, that's natural, that's how stuff gets made, that's how we can have good TV shows and stuff. Whereas in the UK it's very much like stiff upper lip of the BBC, and it's like, no, we will not have advertisements, we will pay our license fee. And whereas like, yeah, come on, I think it is a commercial thing, and you know, the world is becoming a bit more overly commercialized, and I mean, in an ideal world you wouldn't want to, but
you have to.
Yeah, like I honestly, I wouldn't be able to do the channel now because the amount of time I now invest in it. At the start, when there was kind of a hobby, kind of a motivation to it, fine. But the amount of time I then have to take out the cabs, then go do that.
Yeah.
And in many ways, sometimes I'd probably be better off just working the cab.
Really?
Like full time. Yeah, just being really hard with that, 100%.
Yeah. I think people just think maybe like there's just, people just don't understand what it takes to grow a YouTube channel. And like going back to what you said there in terms of like the British audience versus the US audience, do you remember? So the Six Nations is on at the moment,
right? Okay,
and they released before the Six Nations that they're going to start putting adverts in the break of the play of the rugby.
Yep.
And they basically do like a split screen, so they do the break of the play, and then they have an advert on by like a car company or whatever. Yeah. And in the US, that's very normal. I mean, you go to like a Philly Devil Eagles game or whatever, and there's just adverts all the time just being pumped at you. But in the UK, it's not like that.
Yep.
Oh my God, the uproar in the papers because the advertising in the rugby was like, oh my God, how can they do this? Blah, 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 blah. It's just like crazy.
Even like product placements, like a lot of like US like sitcoms or whatever would have like them drinking like a can of Coke or whatever. Like, hey man, like, you know, guess who sponsors this?
Oh yeah, Coke sponsors this podcast, by the way.
I wish. Pret a Manger.
Coke and Pret,
So yeah, I mean, there's laws against it in the UK, but you know, how long will that last? Who knows, really? I mean, I see plus and negatives for both sides of things, but at the end of the day, like, where's the revenue going to come from at the end of the day?
Yeah, we've got to make money, guys. We've got to make money. Your audience, I'm interested to figure out like who your audience is and how you got to the position where your audience is what it is now.
Okay.
When you first started, like, well, I guess my question is are they all taxi drivers subscribed to your channel?
No.
Because you'd think they would be.
No, yeah, you'd think you would be. And I think a lot of people have that misconception.
Right.
I think I polled them a while back, and from my estimates, I reckon 5% are probably tax drivers, if that.
5%, really?
Yeah.
Because I did a test about, when was this? After I met you, I got in 2 black cabs and I asked them both if they knew who you were, and they did.
Oh, wow.
So I think most black cabbies probably know who you are at least.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how many black cabbies are there in London?
About 15,000 now.
Yeah, so I guess in ratio to your subscribers, like, I reckon most of them probably know who you are.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the other 95%, who is that then?
Yeah, it's working that all out. I mean, a lot of it's mainly a UK focus, and I think that then hyper concentrates to London.
Yeah.
So I did get recognised quite a bit in London, but I think that's because my core audience, a lot of it is London, because you got to have a bit of an understanding of London to get real engagement and full enjoyment out of the videos, because it's that living kind of vicariously and that that confirmation of when they see a street, people kind of like to work out in their head where they're going. So it doesn't really translate as well. But I do have like American audiences there as well. There is taxi drivers from around the world as well that like to see how it works. And then I get nice comments on there saying like, oh, in Sweden, this is how it works. Or in Norway, we have to buy our car. All the kind of gamut of like comments and stuff. But yeah, stuff like that. Mainly like a male kind of audience as well.
Okay.
A very overwhelmingly majority male. Yeah, about 95% male.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just lots of men just running up to you in the streets like, what's going on here?
I usually can tell like if like a woman comes running up to me, it's like, you know, for the first time it happened, I was like, oh, this is cool.
This is lovely,
And then it's like, oh, my boyfriend absolutely loves watching you. Or like, or it's like, or they'll go, oh my God, like I've seen you my boyfriend makes me watch all the videos. We watch them together, you know. But yeah, I love that because again, it fits in with the whole thing about why do people watch and you know, like how it fits into their life. So you glean so much on those interactions, and I love it whenever people come and say that. Really,
yeah, it's great. I mean, it's a good thing that you didn't start a YouTube channel to find a girlfriend. Then I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I guess a lot of YouTube does lean towards more kind of male demographics.
Yeah,
I've heard of people on the other side of it where apparently it can get quite nasty and bad if it happens the other way, like where you do have, like, say, let's say you're a female creator and you have a heavy male audience, or vice versa. Right, that can be quite difficult because most of the people that come up to me in the street and say, "Hey man, I watch your video," like they're then the sort of people that we could go down and have like a beer like after this or whatever. We're like, we would have a lot in common.
That's good.
And that's really cool. I'm like, they're just kind of, it's just like me, but just from another direction, basically. I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, we do the same thing, you know?
That's really sick. One thing I've learned about like the YouTube community and YouTube subscribers is for someone to subscribe to a channel, like it does take like a lot of effort. It's not like a, oh yeah, I've seen them, watch one video, subscribe. Yeah. Like it takes like, maybe 7 videos or 6 videos or whatever. So when they do subscribe and then when they do continue to watching the content, they probably end up a bit like me where they just know your content better than you.
Yeah, I guess that's
loyal.
That's an interesting one. You probably do forge a deeper relationship with an entertainment creator. Never thought of it like that. It obviously takes a bit longer to probably get to that point. Because I feel like with an education creator, you will watch 1 or 2 videos and it's like, solve my problem. Or I've got, let's say you want to get in good shape. You watch one video and you think, oh, actually, I need to subscribe to this because I need to see the follow-up.
It's more transactional, maybe.
Yeah, like, well, you have to stay invested if you want to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
Whereas an entertainment creator, you kind of have to suss them out a bit and you go, is this guy a knobhead? Like, like, or maybe that's just
Tom
me.
a knobhead?
Yeah. and then
Tom's a knobhead, but Tom isn't.
He was a knobhead, yeah. And you got
R.I.P.
You got to size it up a bit, and then and then go, oh, okay, I like the way he did that and did that, and then it takes a few times. And I don't know if maybe as well, I know subscriber number is a vanity number, right? Yeah. It doesn't translate to any sort of monetary figure or views or whatever. But I wonder if some people were kind of a bit dubious of subscribing to like a taxi driver. Like it's almost like not a shameful thing, but like, there's more aspirational things to subscribe to.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because otherwise if people go like, it's probably a bit like, all right, how do I tell people that I'm sort of just watching
taxi content?
I watch taxi content.
Yeah, I mean, I shared your videos in my friends group and my friends love it.
That's what I mean. It's difficult when you think of like, say, how Instagram works, right? Obviously, I think how the Instagram algorithm works is that it's predicated on people sharing it to DMs. They pride themselves that it's kind of a social platform and it's like, hey, I was thinking of you. This is probably to do with you, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't really see how I can do that with taxi driving so much, but there might be a few content rabbit holes I can go down that cover that.
So do you think people, I mean, I'm just trying to think like how I would share your content. Like I share it because, why do I share it to my friends? I share it because, well, I do find it entertaining more than anything else. And I think my friends would like it. Yeah, I guess you're right. Like Instagram, you do just share, you see a story, you think, oh, that relates to my friend or that's my friend or, and then you share it. And I guess that's what you try to create content really for, you're trying to create content for your existing audience to share to a new audience.
Yes, in some ways, yeah. I mean, the old school kind of, I don't know, it probably still is still kind of a big metric of the algorithm now, but is obviously watch time and then getting onto a next video.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the
retention, binge watching.
Yeah, exactly. Behavior. If you stay with that one creator for 3-4 videos, then you're going to get served more, and then that's a good thumbs up to the YouTube algorithm that's then going to serve that out to more people that are similar to that, really. Yeah. Stephen
Bartlett once said that embarrassment was the cost of entry.
Yeah.
And basically saying like when you first create content, like you might feel embarrassed, you might feel like, oh, why am I doing this? People are laughing at me, people are pointing their fingers at me. Did you ever go through that journey, like when you first started creating like entertainment content, specifically entertainment? Because education, people can understand that. It's like, well, they're making videos because they want to educate people.
Yeah.
But when you're making entertainment content, it's like, you're almost like saying to the world, I've got a personality. I'm funny enough. I'm good enough to entertain people. Watch me.
It's still weird when you're saying it. You said again, entertainment, personality.
Yeah,
I can make people fun. I don't see myself as having any of those attributes.
You do. You definitely do.
Yeah, but I'm just a geek who just likes drawing on maps and saying this is what I did at work.
Another geek.
I know. Yeah. The biggest one when I first started it, I didn't care about any lay person, like normal, average sort of YouTube watcher, because I felt I was insulated by my knowledge of London.
Okay.
Right. So that was it. So I think if you've got a real expertise in something, that's probably the best armor that you can have going into this.
Yeah. Who can argue that?
Yeah. Who can I can tell you, like, I did 3 years of intensive studying, living with my parents, going into London 3 days a week, staring at a map 7 days a week, passing 13 examinations across a period of a year.
Wow.
To become a cab driver. So my knowledge might diminish a bit over time, but I've definitely gone through hoops to get to where I am. So if any random person wants to, you know, not like challenge me on London or whatever, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Let's go.
So that I wasn't really too scared of, because it's like, right, I've definitely got that acumen there. And I'm very much like that of everything in life, where I kind of have to have proof. Like, I mean, I'm the same if I get in an argument with my girlfriend. It's like, you didn't do the and it's not about doing
Yeah.
I'm like, well, look, did you not see? Like, I did this, and this.
Here's the evidence.
Here's the evidence.
Yeah.
And the same with like YouTube. It's like, cool, I've got the evidence there, so no one can refute that.
Okay.
The thing I was more scared of was other cab drivers.
Really?
Because look at it, like, I'd only been out driving for like 2-3 years.
So you're quite new.
And there's cab drivers out here who've been out for decades. Like, and I've got mates now in this trade who've been here for like 3 decades, 4 decades or whatever, right? So here's this new butter boy, that's industry term.
Butter boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of like new fish.
Like T-boy.
Yeah. Of the cab trade.
Yeah.
But they all just landed positively, because I think they saw themselves in it.
Okay.
Because we've all had to mutually go through that journey.
Yeah.
But that was the thing I was most scared of. I was most scared of, like, you know, new entrants kind of showing, and you still get some people go like, oh, you're like giving away like our industry trade secrets or whatever.
Gosh, such secrets. Driving
like,
a taxi driver.
anyone can go learn to go drive in London. Like, there's no like secrets here. You just go and do it.
Surely, like, you're bringing like more. You're bringing more eyes to people, like to the black cab world, and showing, you know, like in some of your videos you go into details of, like, you know, black cab like versus Uber or whatever, and then, you know, you're giving people education on why they should ride in a black cab, as to why they should possibly, instead of taking an Uber, right?
Yeah, and that was kind of my original reason why I uploaded on the channel, was because I wanted to get more people into it. I wanted to show people my journey and how it kind of changed my life and all the cool things I've been able to do since being a cab driver. And then my kind of original litmus, and I still look back to it now, whenever I have a video that doesn't perform well, or I feel like, oh my God, like, I feel like, no, the whole aim of this was that I wanted to showcase how good this trade is. I wanted to get new people in the back seats of black cabs and go, you know what, I'm going to take a black cab today because I saw this guy on YouTube and he told me about it. And to elevate the profile of black cab drivers.
Yeah.
Because there's so many amazing people in this trade. I wanted to get more people into the trade as well. And it wasn't necessarily, even though it's Tom the taxi driver, it wasn't necessarily my journey. The actual reason I wanted to do it was to say, look, I didn't know about this knowledge thing and the taxi driving world before I did it.
Yeah.
And I still look at every other cab driver I see on the road, and I still revere them as gods because of them having to go through the knowledge.
Yeah.
And when I was studying to do the knowledge, it's like, these guys are amazing, guys and girls are amazing. And mainly that it was more about, like, you can get in my cab and you'll have an experience with me, but you can get into any other cab in London and you're going to have some kind of experience. It might not be the same as me, but I wanted people to look at that video and go, oh, that's cool. Not they want to get in my cab, but just I want to get in cabs as a whole, basically.
Yeah. You're shining light on cabbies, which is a fantastic thing.
And not also as well, like, some people think us cab drivers and Uber drivers have like this beef or whatever. It's like, it'd be nice if there was like no Uber drivers, because I'd have loads more work, but that's created its own market. Like, if Uber went away tomorrow, us black cab drivers would not be able to survive the demand, you know?
Really?
So of course not. Like, you were in the deepest, darkest ends of like London or whatever.
Yeah.
How many times is a black cab going to come past if you're down there at 11 o'clock at night, it's raining, you're in a cul-de-sac somewhere? Yeah. It ain't going to happen. So I like to kind of, you know, just show the realities of it, you know, what black cabs are good at, and of course why you might want to take an Uber. Like, because I'm not going to lie, like, if you're doing a job across the country, an Uber's probably going to be, it's most certainly going to be cheaper than a black cab. Like, my meter works very well in town. Yeah. Not so good if we're going all the way to Bristol or Brighton or somewhere.
Yeah, it's so true. I remember this one time fondly when I was back in my raving days, when I was leaving a rave at like 5 in the morning and I couldn't get home. I couldn't get an Uber. I couldn't get a Bolt. I couldn't get any of these bloody taxis. And then suddenly I was walking home, and it was a 3-hour walk home, right? And I was walking home, I was like 30 minutes into the walk, and it was just like the back end of nowhere. and a cabbie was on his way into London with his light on. And honestly, and took me home. And I was like, mate, I haven't been able to get outside. It was raining. I didn't have a coat with me. I was drenched. Like, this is not a good look. I mean, it was not a good look for me right then. And this guy like saved me. He was like, yeah, of course I'll take you home. No worries. And he didn't charge me full rate because he saw that I was like in distress, and he just helped me, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I always remember that guy, and I don't know his name. I don't know who he is, but I think that really like just shows that like the personality of every black cab driver in London is like, you'll get a genuine person who will help you, who will understand you, and then will really support you. But more than anything, your videos have like shined a light on that even more, which I think is like super important.
Thanks,
and
man.
probably, what you maybe, I don't know whether you did aim to do that in your YouTube channel.
I mean, mine was kind of like, it's a really like kind of a small sort of slice of different like cab drivers. Like, because there's guys I know that are like ex-firefighters, ex-police, that have had like a full-on career before becoming a cab driver, and no one falls into it because of the rigorous studying that has to go on. So it was just, you know, really promoting that. And yeah, that's the main, I think the main litmus test of the channel.
Nice.
So right now, where I am with the channel, I'm not really obsessed too much more with the growth, because I don't know how much more growth there can be to it.
Interesting.
There could be loads, but I think I can, when you do those kind of like, you know, and when I do those sort of yearly journals and that, I'm thinking, right, I would just be really happy just to be able to sustain this, really. Just keep it cool, honor the audience that are already there, that have been along for the ride for as long as possible, and just kind of, obviously my journey is going to evolve a little bit as I, you know, work through this career a bit more, you know, but maybe get another cab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my kind of dream, really, just to kind of keep it out there, keep it fresh, and that, you know, it's always a constant kind of form of marketing that people can go, you know what? Cabs are cool, man.
Yeah, they are cool. They are very, very cool. If you're sat at home right now watching this or listening to this, and you want to start a YouTube channel, and you're deliberating between starting an entertainment channel or an education channel, what advice would you give to someone who's, you know, wanting to go into the entertainment world on YouTube?
Who's wanting to go into the entertainment world specifically.
Or start an entertainment YouTube channel.
Yeah, because when I started, I didn't even know the distinction between the two.
Right.
I just like, cool, it's YouTube, you just stick videos up there, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Which is probably the easiest way of kind of thinking about it. I definitely don't overthink it. It's number one. Obviously, pursue something that's interesting to you, because people just generally see it. Like I would sit at home, like this week or last week, someone sent me a link to a 1961 BBC archive documentary of when minicabs first came to London.
Oh, wow.
And it's like black and white, and there's the old cab drivers, and I'm sitting there pausing every bit of the video going, oh, there's a Beardmore taxi, I know that street in London or whatever. So I would be doing this irregardless, you know, I'd be troving through all the archives of all different taxi stuff, because I just find it fascinating. Anything London. So just follow your interests. And that will keep you there. And you might not, like I done it, and I didn't realize there was a path to kind of any form of like monetary success or like viewership or fame or whatever people might want from this. But it just allowed me to follow my interests, and that's what's going to keep you going for it.
All right, okay. It's like what you love, and it's your like competitive advantage, really, like your unique selling point.
Yep.
And it's like, this is the reason why I started this, because I'm just like obsessed with YouTube and YouTubers and just love it. And I guess like, you're right, that does come through, I guess, in the content and every day when you talk on social media.
Because if you find a niche that's like, oh, this niche pays well, like finance, like I'm going to talk about pensions and SIPs and stuff like that because it's got the best CPMs. You're like, if you're not into that, good luck, because there's loads of other creators in that realm that are already doing really well that do love that.
Yeah.
So you ain't going to out-compete with them. Like I went traveling a couple of years ago, and I was laying in a hammock in Thailand. And on my phone, I'm watching the London Mayor Assembly, like councillors and union representatives of the taxi trade talking about the taxi trade. I'm like, this is life, like peak life moment.
You ain't
gonna compete with me on that. Like.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no one's gonna compete with you. And I think what you've shown as well, Tom, is that like.
But sorry, and anti to that, I don't want to then say you can't compete with that, because then people might think. Right, so this is a really important point here. They might think, right, okay, there's already a creator out there who's doing this thing. So let's say there's a taxi driver out there who's going, oh, I can't compete with Tom, I'm not going to do that. No, because you have your own unique spin.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that if you're not into the subject matter, then...
Don't do it.
Don't do it. If you are into the subject matter, you will have your own unique spin on it. Because I can guarantee you that whatever niche you're into on YouTube, I watch a lot of finance creators, lots of people have their own different kind of like lean-ins and how they explain stuff. So you will have maybe a roster of 3 different people that do it. You know, like coffee, right? I'm into the coffee world, so I watch Lance Hedrick, I watch James Hoffman, other coffee creators, right? You don't just pick one.
Yeah.
You often go for different viewpoints.
Yeah.
So there's always something you can add because you have your own unique experiences that you bring to the table.
Is there any other like taxi YouTube creators?
Yeah, you've got, I'm friends with all of them, but you've got my pal, Jamie the Cabbie, Mark Monroe, Shane, Danny Mack,
Wow.
who else? There's a couple of new guys who got their badge recently, are quite active on TikTok and Instagram, and they're creating a whole new audience that I can't possibly reach.
Why?
They're really hitting, like, because they're quite young, like Mo, who was the youngest cab driver. There's a guy called Connor who's just picked up his badge. He's 21.
Wow.
They're hitting like Gen Z that I just wouldn't be able to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like you never think that you could create a career out of making a YouTube channel around taxis.
Yeah.
Right. It's so niche. It's like the nichest thing you could possibly think of. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you can get niche and there's some.
But those
niche on
niches is
YouTube.
kind of what insulates you in many ways, because it's like, I think Scott Adams, the guy who created Dilbert, talks about this thing where the more specialisms you add, some people think, well, that pigeonholes me and I'm never going to be able to get a job.
Okay.
I need to be Mr. General. But the more of these things you stack, the more you then become separate and like your own thing. So my unfair advantage starting this was that I've got a media degree. I'm a young cab driver. I know how to edit and make videos and stuff.
Perfect.
So of that pool of, say, 15,000 London cab drivers, only about 5% were under 30. And of that pool, how many of them know media? So each time you add one of these things on top, you just create another advantage for yourself. That's what's going to make you stand out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because, that's another thing that people can't compete on you on. Yeah.
Interesting. So there's other creators then who are taxi drivers and creating content. You said there's like a Gen Z, there's other people on YouTube. Like what are their different like leanings compared to yours? Is anyone that's like very similar to you or?
Yeah. So Mark's probably the next sort of big one, and we'll talk together because I'm very much of the YouTube ethos, and YouTube's really cool like this, where we'll kind of promote it and raise everyone up.
So good.
Because I have the ethos that a raising tide raises all ships.
Ah, love it.
So if they watch Mark's videos, they watch Jamie's videos, they're going to come over to mine. Maybe they'll see me in the recommendations.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be there right next to them, you know? So
you're not competing against each other. You're all like, almost like you're all helping each other feed into each other's videos.
Yeah,
that's the way you see it.
Because if you're interested in this taxi topic, then you're going to see the next one. And it all comes in. So Mark's is kind of a bit more kind of slower TV, and he's got a few cool elements he's fought up with in his videos. Like he's got something called Guess the Meter.
Okay.
So obviously we don't want to talk too much about earnings in the cab because it's a bit of a no-no in the cab trade, but it would just do one journey in his video, and it's like, cool, have a guess in the comments what you think, and I'll reveal it in the next video.
All right, nice.
So it's a really cool narrative hook that then keeps you've got to come back and watch the next one to know the answer.
Nice.
My friend Jamie, Jamie's been driving a cab longer than I've been alive.
Really? Wow.
And we did a collaboration the other day at Heathrow Airport.
Nice.
He knows the airport system in and out, what happens there. So
no.
Yeah, and also as well, like again, if you're starting out, contact, maybe once you made a few videos, but don't be afraid to contact the people that might be the quote like competitors of your industry, because they'll want to get you on side.
Yeah.
They'll want you, because together you all grow together, really.
Yeah.
Don't do it before you've made a video. I get people reach out to me and go, "Oh, I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel." End of message.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with that?
What do I do with this information?
Yeah. Like just start with the most minimal thing. So whether it's like I started with an iPhone,
right? Okay.
And I think a corded mic linked to the mic
really?
to the iPhone.
What, like a little Apple like
headphone,
it's
like that sort of thing. Yeah.
Wow, that just shows I just start. You don't need fancy camera equipment or whatever. Just get it done.
Narrative just trumps everything.
Yeah, it really does. It's one thing I have actually realised from working in the YouTube space for a while now is that like I've worked in the TV industry and I've worked with a lot of like celebrities and I've worked with a lot of YouTubers, and YouTubers are just like normal, genuine people because they've just started from like their bedrooms, right, or from the taxis or whatever. Like they're just everyday blokes or girls or whatever.
Yep.
And there's no I've never met any YouTuber with an ego. I've never come across one. Yeah. And they always want to support you. They always want to help you.
Yep.
And it's such a nice community like that. And yeah, YouTubers do help YouTubers. I mean, it's a classic like video swap, right? It's just like a thing that YouTubers do. They just, I got yours, you got mine, and you just help each other.
Yeah,
it's just how it works.
Yeah,
right?
the collaborations feature. And just attending some of those summits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People will honestly tell you what's happening, and
It's great. We've all got this one common goal. We're not like, and we've all got different audiences, so we're not like fighting against each other. It's not like two big oil companies fighting against the same plot of oil, is it? Like there's YouTubers and there's enough space out there, enough viewers, and yeah, it's just super nice.
Yeah, you can carve out your own niche no matter how big. And as well, the cool thing about the platform as well is it gives as much airtime and space, and sometimes more so for new creators, doesn't it? I think the way that you can, you've got the hype points now that if you're a smaller creator, you can get the hype points. And that then naturally sort of boosts it in the algorithm as well. So
one thing I'm interested to learn, Tom, is that we work with a lot of brands, and brands will have, there's a lot of strategy that goes into like creating a video for a brand.
Yeah.
There's, a lot of testing thumbnails and looking at data and looking at outliers and looking at other channels and what they're doing well, and how their videos could feed into your video. There's so much like thought that goes into the thumbnails and the way people are positioned, and it's like it can be like just like there's a lot of like strategy up front. When it comes to like creating an idea for someone like yourself who's a creator, like how much thought goes into like the ideation process, or how you come up with ideas to create videos for your channel?
No, not nearly enough. it should be more.
It's all smoke and mirrors, everyone. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. So the shift stuff, I've kind of done every kind of narrative I can go out and chase. I.e., what happens if I go work at the airport? What happens if I work a night shift? What happens if I work a morning shift? What happens if I work during a tube strike?
Yeah.
I've kind of chased all those narrative avenues.
Okay.
So that's kind of just natural curiosity points.
Yeah.
Some of the other videos where I kind of script stuff and kind of explain a bit about the trade, I used to just kind of do the classic listicle.
Okay.
The Ali Abdul, like pick 7 things about something, because that naturally has a narrative built into it.
Yeah.
So start to finish. I guess it's always centered on narrative. You've got to think about the click. Why would someone click on it? It could be the greatest video ever, but then if no one clicks on it, of course, we know what happens there.
0 views.
What was the original question? I'm just trying to ensure.
It's like how much like strategy goes into, how much strategy goes into thinking of an idea for a video, and like why would you choose one idea over the other?
Yeah, I think, ideation is definitely something you need to really think about. Don't get too hard up on it, because at some point you've got to like jump from ideation to then actually going out and doing it.
Yeah.
But same token, don't just go out of a camera and go, hey, I'm here today. And like,
really?
What are we talking about today? Yeah.
So are you like planning things down on paper? Are you writing things down?
It's not shift videos, because that's very much, I've got to go out and just see what happens to the day. And I extract a narrative from that. Okay. It's a live format. If it's one of the sort of more documentary pieces, like I say, the documentary pieces, I made one about like apps in London.
Yeah.
Or
fish and chip shops you made one about as well, right?
Or like, why don't cab drivers join Uber? Uber have announced they've got taxis on the platform.
Yeah.
Great. Like, we have taxi apps. Why not join Uber?
Okay.
So that in itself is a nice curiosity gap of a question. So you kind of frame it around a question, I guess. Or I'll look at something, I'll see something on the street and I'll be like, cycles or something, right? And then, so that's just one idea. Go, cool. What questions can I create around that? Frame it around a question, frame it around a narrative. And that's kind of, I think, enough of a litmus test to then progress further with the idea. Then is it going to be a short? Is it going to be a long form? Because many of these ideas you could just get out as a short.
Yeah.
You'll have your own heuristic for that, whether you to make it as a short or a long form.
And what would be the deciding point, that it doesn't have enough like retention points, or it doesn't have enough like storyline?
Yeah, I think it needs to have. There's the old. I don't know if you know the one that Matt Stone and Trey Parker use from South Park.
No.
Oh, it's a great one. So their storytelling kind of thing. It can't just be, I went to the shops and then I bought some milk and then I went home and then I played Xbox.
Okay.
They come up with this idea of like, I went to the shops, but on the way it rained. So then I had to do X and then I fell, and then you can't that but is kind of like reintroducing like a new narrative kind of concept. So I think it would only be a short if you can't then put like another and a few more kind of buts or a few more like spins in the narrative.
Okay.
Sometimes as well, like in the intro hook, the best videos I've done, I have like a re-hook. Right. So you introduce one concept and it's so good. It's like, but that's not even the biggest thing.
Okay.
The biggest thing is this. Like with the one about the realities of owning a taxi, I introduce with, this taxi costs £70,000. I've paid it off. Happy days, basically.
Yeah.
But see the bar. Hold on a minute.
What?
Yeah, because you're like, well, okay, so you're about to tell me that you're amazing. You've paid off your taxi. You know, everything's great, and you're about to explain that. But this taxi only lasts 15 years.
Okay.
Oh, I've just rehooked. Like, why does it last 15 years?
So you're giving them something else when they've come into the video. You're not even giving them the biggest thing.
Yeah, which you sort of can do in a short, but it's not enough, depending on how deep that butt is. I needed a lot of time to unpack that.
Yeah.
You could probably condense it down to a short, but it just wouldn't. It would almost be quite good for a short because it would lead onto a long form.
Interesting.
In itself, it wouldn't be a short.
Interesting.
I think.
I was speaking to Alex Emery the other day, who co-owns and is the strategist behind the John Nellis channel. He was saying that like he would have a video of like Cristiano Ronaldo or something, but like as soon as people jump on the video, he immediately mentions like another big footballer.
Yes,
and it's that same thing. It's like they think they're going to watch a video just about Cristiano Ronaldo, but hang on a sec, you're talking about David Beckham as soon as you get in about meeting David Beckham, and it's like you've come with this big thing, and then you get him into the video, and it's like, but we actually have a bigger thing for you.
Yeah, you deliver, and obviously
over deliver. I guess.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson does, isn't it? It's like you came to click on this because it's like a cheater racing a car.
Yeah.
But we've also got these other challenges along the way. So like we've confirmed what you click on. Yeah. But you've also going to get loads more as well. So yeah, it's like over delivering. Really. Yeah.
And there's so many different ways you can do that. It doesn't have to be with just footballers. It can be with anything really, I guess.
And that's that extra value add. And I think then people remember that. No different if you go into a shop, right? And you go in and you buy something. And they go, oh, cool. Do you want like a free muffin? You're like,
yeah.
This is epic. I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back here again.
Yeah, I got a free muffin every time.
Yeah, that reciprocity. Yeah.
Are you looking like in the entertainment world? Are you looking for like one-off like video ideas, or are you looking for like formats that you can just continually keep building, and like what makes it an easier process for you?
A bit of both. So formats, I've got shift videos, food to a degree. Slow down on food, not too sure why, but that's becoming a very competitive space now, so I probably need a bit more of an edge to stand out there.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was kind of a few other like formats out as well. But yeah, I kind of like just mixing it up a bit. Formats are good because at least you know you've got some kind of solid revenue, some kind of solid audience or whatever.
Like your shift videos, you can just keep going back to them and keep going back to them. You know they're going to bang views every time.
I think they've kind of they have dropped off a bit. Yeah. I think the kind of, again, like, because the audiences grow older stuff, right? Yeah. Your favourite TV show or whatever, you would have watched like endlessly on loop, like when at one point in your life. But you grow up, you move on or whatever, and or people get fatigued of it. So you have got to constantly spice stuff up, get new stuff out. So that's why it's important to kind of keep the stuff that works, but also kind of test new ideas as well. So one idea I tested in London, and coincidentally, that I think just by pure chance this happened, I tested the idea of going to different taxi drivers and asking where they eat in London.
Okay.
Because that kind of fuses taxi driving.
Yeah.
I'm the authority of taxis, and it's also food, which sort of does well.
Yeah.
And then about a week later, Harrison Webb released one really good video where he jumps in cabs. He offered them, do you want to come and eat with me?
Okay.
But basically he got all the different sort of tidbits of where they would go and eat.
Yeah.
And that's done really well for him. But I think that was just, sheer coincidence, because obviously his timeline of how he films and that, but pulled it off really well. So yeah, that, and then I'm basically going to adapt that. I'm off to New York in March.
Nice.
Same thing. I want to ask the New York cab drivers.
Yeah.
But whilst there, I'm going to basically make the most of the trip and try and get like 3 or 4 videos out of it.
Nice. Yeah.
So how the New York taxi system works, again, because I'm fascinated by taxis.
Yeah.
So I want to know how it works.
No way. Do you love taxis, Tom? I never would have guessed.
And and then whilst you're there, you then can ask them where they go and eat, and then I want to go and drive in New York as well. So then there's comparisons there. So each of those, so there's about, in theory, that could be 2 new formats there. I've already tried the food one in London, but quizzing cab drivers, well, that could be a worldwide format if it's successful. It might open up to a new audience. Yeah. So you've always got to keep testing these things,
How much are you, like, John Ushuai says this really cool thing where, which I saw him say at Vid Summit where we met, which is like copy and taste, which essentially means like, no idea is original really anymore, but you're just like, you're looking at an idea and you're thinking like, how can I do that idea, but in my own way?
Yeah.
But how much of that are you doing? Like, how much of that are you looking at other people's content and going, well, I can do that, but with my own spin on it and my advantage?
I'm not actively doing it. Like sometimes you might load up some of the different tools that are available, like 1 of 10 and some of these outlier softwares and stuff. I probably should more actively do that. But I think everyone does it to a degree, like on a subconscious level.
Probably.
You watch something and you just get inspired by it. And, like you watch Zach Alsop going up a mountain on a motorbike. You're like, how can I involve narrative?
Can you go up a mountain in a taxi?
How do I get my dad involved and add like this whole kind of narrative? And like, he goes back to his childhood and I mean, I know he was quite when he released that, from what I saw on his Instagram and that he didn't know if it would land because he'd done motocross years and years.
Yeah.
But did his audience want it?
Interesting.
But he managed to package it in a way that was.
I mean, that video for him was probably just like, probably been sat there like in his head for like 5 years, really. Like he's been motocrossing since he's been like 4 years old. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is that you could have a video idea that's actually there, right, glaringly obviously in front of you for like forever. But
it nags away and you think, my audience went like that, my audience went like that. And he had to just pull the trigger and obviously then it worked. So it's the same kind of medicine that you would take as you're beginning on YouTube versus someone who's been doing it forever, you know?
Interesting. So maybe then like a good strategy to come up with video ideas is maybe don't use all of these tools and look for new things and keep like Daniel Priestley describes it as his mountain of value, which is where, you know, what happens is when you climb a mountain is you always look at the next mountain that's slightly bigger and go, oh, how do I climb that mountain over there?
I see.
When actually you've just climbed this fucking huge mountain. But what really people don't realize is that over their entire career and their lives or whatever, they've built this huge mountain of value and actually your story ideas are in that mountain somewhere. You just need to look back and find them. Rather than looking
I think
elsewhere.
that like when I try and position myself back to when before I was a cab driver, there wasn't too much cab driver content out there. A few people did a few bits.
Interesting.
But I really wanted to get in to see what the perspective of a cab driver was like. Where did they go? What did they eat? What did they, you know, what does the life of sort of it look like? It's really difficult to try and go back and look at that, but that would be the ultimate perspective to have, to look at yourself. I mean, the same happens in the education space, doesn't it? It's like the best person to serve is yourself prior. You serve because there was 3 years. 3 years ago when you didn't know the answers, and you've then come to learn it, and you go, well, "Cool, I've learned the answers. Here's the answers." You know, if you want them, you know. So yeah,
interesting. I wonder if taxi drivers watch your content to like learn when they're going through the knowledge.
They sort of do. So it's difficult in the knowledge because it's how you drive a taxi is completely different to how you study it.
Yeah, okay.
But I've had comments from cab drivers who might have taken a break during COVID, and they've been worried that a lot of the streets and stuff has changed in London, and they're like, "Well, crap! Like, will I still know how to do it?" And you know, when I've taken time off, I'm like, "Oh, well, what might be different?" You know, but you don't want to get stuck with a passenger and having to relearn everything.
Yeah,
and so much changed over COVID.
Right.
A lot of cab drivers come to me and said, "Well, I watched your videos." And I would kind of almost mentally test myself because they say where we're going and they go, oh, which way would they go? And they'd piece it together. So that's, again, another unexpected thing of it, really.
These little tangents. And then also another one, I guess, is that you've most likely, and you probably know this already, like inspired kids to become taxi drivers, right? And to pass knowledge, which is, I think, in a very brash way of saying that, super fucking cool.
Young
it's
lad.
Not geeky at all.
Young lad at the moment is going through it all. Ben Smith, he's 18.
Right.
He watched my videos, some other people's videos and stuff. He's got a real supporting family who basically said, you can go and do whatever you want. You know, we'll support you if you want to go to university. I think his brother's becoming a pilot. And he's just like, I want to be a cab driver. And I'm like, that's so sick. And the Times did a whole article about it of like, you know, you can go away and do anything. You can go to the university or whatever, but here's some kids who want to go become cab drivers. And it's been a fabulous career. I wouldn't be able to do YouTube without the taxi driving. That was first and foremost. When I studied film and media at university level.
Nice.
Did a few little bits, like not quite worked in the industry, but I worked for a dodgy advertising firm and tried to set up by myself.
What was their name? I'm joking.
Well, actually, my previous employer, employed Andrew Tate.
Okay, right. We don't want to get cancelled here, so let's
diverge. It was in Luton, so we have a mutual contact there. Wow, yeah, that was a weird experience. Never believe it. Yeah, I can see why that man is the way he is, possibly because of this one person.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh wow,
that'd be a good video though if it was in the back of your cab.
Yeah. What was I talking about?
Inspiring people. Yeah. Being a taxi driver.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, cool. One of the most prohibitive things once I completed my degree was that you need to, all the media opportunities are based in London.
Right, okay.
I lived in Essex at the time. You've just come out of uni. You're in like, how much debt? I've got no money to my name.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, you've now got to go work as a runner or, you know, this other adjacent media job for like little to no pay for 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you've also got to get to London and we're probably going to prioritise the job to someone who already lives in London.
So true.
I'm stuck.
So true.
How can I do that? So I was like, right, well, I flip-flopped around in a few different careers and stuff for a while. And then settled on the knowledge. I was like, cool, well, I can actually now, because I've got a trade behind me that I can just come and go when I like. Once you get your badge as a cab driver, you've got it for life.
Right.
I could then go take up some of these media opportunities,
Yeah.
and go work in the film industry or whatever, because you always had that fallback. You know, when you don't have work in between, you can go and earn money basically. But oddly enough, I've not chased that, but I've now had more film and media opportunities since being a cab driver, like not looking for them, like driving on like, you know, productions and films and stuff. And you're
That's
like,
it.
how?
That's what I mean. That's the beauty of YouTube, really, isn't it? Is that, you know, this TV world. I mean, I started off as a runner in TV, and you know, you have to be like given the opportunities, or you have to know someone.
Yeah.
But with YouTube, you're just like you're creating your own fate. You're saying like, do you know what? Scrap all these big television companies or whatever. Like, I'm just going to create my own content, and that's what YouTube is so good, because it just allows anyone to become who they want to be with their own topic and what they love. And yeah, thank you, YouTube, I guess.
And coming back to your original point of like what you said about Stephen Bartlett, like embarrassment is the cost of entry, is that the cool thing with YouTube is that, and I guess it's a good analogy for life, but no one bestows it upon you to be the person who does the thing.
Yeah.
You do it by showing up, and the first 2, 3, 10 videos might be a bit janky, but by the time you got to 100, you're the go-to person in that build. You build your own authority and trust. You know, I had a little bit of, not a head start, but like obviously I was no authoritative in the cab trade.
Yeah.
I was just a cab driver.
Yeah.
But now it gives a level of credence, and then you have like journalistic articles and places reaching out to you and go, cool, we want a soundbite or a pop on this. Like, oh, the
top straight up. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're the person in that industry then, you know, so.
You only need, I think what's so good about YouTube is that you don't need like a mass audience. I mean, there's obviously some YouTubers that do have that mass audience and do earn lots of money from CPM, but you only need a small audience to like, and a small like audience which love you and care for you. And it's like super valuable to become like big in that one thing.
Yeah. Kevin
you know
Kelly, 1,000 True Fans.
Yeah. That's
you
it.
know this, yeah?
No, what's that?
Kevin Kelly is a great writer, savant, sage kind of guy, you know. There's the idea that in any sort of field or domain on the internet, could be in real life, if you have 1,000 true fans, whether you have a blog, whether you have a video, whatever, if those 1,000 people are loyal to everything that you do, and you know, whenever you have a product release, or if you know, provide some sort of value that they can donate in some way, that's all you need is 1,000 people basically, is that core audience. And you know, you always think about honoring those people, because you get the subscriber number, but that's not really indicative of, it's not even really indicative of like current viewership, because obviously that's been accumulated over time. So most
people don't subscribe as well on most channels, from what I've realised.
Yeah, you don't algorithmically you don't need it, because I'm sure there's loads of things I get suggested to me that I'm not subscribed to. Yeah. And conversely, there's things I'm subscribed to that I don't see anymore.
Interesting.
So this doesn't really matter. But yeah, like, so it's not an insignificant number as 1,000 people.
No.
They all, you know, you fill a room with 1,000 people, and that's the sort of that core audience of like, if you said, right, I'm going to be at a bar, and if 1,000 people showed up, that's strong stuff.
Yeah, that's a sellout bar, isn't it? That's a busy bar.
Yeah, the bar owner's very friendly with you. Yeah,
I feel like the lines do get blurred really with numbers online for sure, because we do see these big creators with these big huge numbers, and you know, and then the smaller creators, you know, sort of think, oh, well, you know, 50,000 subscribers. Oh, that's not very many.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking hell, it's a lot of fucking subscribers. Yeah, 50,000 subscribers.
Comparison is the thief of joy. When I've had like videos like recently, I feel like, again, I don't know where my channel kind of sitting at the moment, but I feel like it's not the growth I did have, you know, but obviously you can only grow so much, right? And I'm looking at some of the views and I get a little bit bummed out by myself. I'm like, this wasn't even an option. This wasn't even on the cards 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, this is nuts. There's people that actually enjoy it and love it, and it's like, so you just gotta honor the people that keep coming back. Yeah, because don't forget about them. Yeah, how they watch it. They're watching on TVs. You're a huge part of their life. You're in their living room, right? That's a real honor to be able to do that. It really is, Tom. From the bottom of my heart, mate. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping me and coming on this journey, on my YouTube journey as well. It's a really special moment for me personally. So thank you. And thank you for also spotlighting UK YouTubers. Thank you for spotlighting niche UK YouTubers and showing such a passion and a love for the space.
that's just like taxi driving. That's just really fucking cool, mate.
Yeah, if anyone wants anything like, you know, from me and go, it's like, cool, that's done a bit about YouTube, and just DM me, email me, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
We all love this space. So.
Yeah. We're all here to help each other, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Can we have a hug?
Yeah.
Thanks. That was so sick.